Alright guys, welcome back to the podcast, back to Tomboy Official. I had a topic on my mind back in this relationship series. So I'm just going to be tossing these relationship series episodes in just whenever. I'm still going to go through the books. I've got one book that's supposed to be coming tomorrow, but we're still gonna finish up the other book at the moment, still the Lily Singh book. But I was pretty I guess what's the word? Surprised? I guess I'm pretty surprised by the amount of maybe the lack of people who, when it comes to mask for mask dating or stud for stud dating, the people kind of some reason do tend to take a like at the least like maybe a hesitant approach, or even a more like apprehensive approach. And I'm not sure why. Like, it's something that I can't really put a finger on. So basically, for people who might not know what that is, we talk a lot on this channel, at least we have in the past, about, gender expression, gender identity, androgyny. So a lot of times, anybody of any sexuality, any gender, basically any person can be kind of like having masculine energy, masculine, presenting clothing, maybe hobbies, things like that. Things that society kind of says, these are masculine qualities. Now, it doesn't matter what you were born as, you can have masculine qualities. You can have very masculine qualities, some masculine qualities, some feminine qualities, or very feminine qualities. So usually that's what people mean when they say masc versus femme. Now, if you take like straight hetero relationships, usually, not always, but usually there's a masc male and a femme female. That's kind of the blueprint that we've been taught. But the more you mingle around in society and the more you get to know a diverse group of people, you start learning that not everybody who's a guy is super masc. Not everybody who's a woman is super femme. Sometimes it's more subtle. Sometimes it's way more obvious. Sometimes it's just like in the hobbies, but maybe presentation-wise, the way they dress, they might gravitate to more towards masc femme, or somewhere in the middle, androgynous type, or even kind of like neutral. There's kind of like this, I don't know if people would even consider it androgynous, because I feel like androgynous almost, in a way, kind of makes it a little bit more difficult for someone to just like see you at a glance and just automatically be like, oh, you're a man, or oh, you're a woman. Like, there's a little bit of like, it might take a double take sometimes. But the reason why, I get so interested in like maybe like mask for mask or stud for stud type relationships is because I feel like with other combinations of couples, if you even want to say couples or like partners, you don't really see people say that they don't want that. Now, I've heard, Masc men say that they like feminine women. I've also heard Masc men say that they like kind of like a tomboy type of woman. I've heard gay men say, oh, like, I'm not really into like effeminate men, or some who are into effeminate men. Now I've never heard, and this is just me, maybe maybe it's just my lack of experience with this, but I feel like maybe it's rare for like two femme women to be like, I don't like femme women. A lot of femme women who like women, some of them have a preference for femmes, some of them have a preference for masc women, but I've never really heard like an overall complaint of like femme women being like, oh gosh, I don't like other femmes, but I've heard this with masc presenting women. A lot of masc presenting women have like this aversion towards other masc presenting women, or maybe they don't crush on them, or they don't like them, or they don't want to like have relationships with them. A lot of them say that they prefer femme women. I feel like it's very, very rare to come across a masc female that likes masc women, and that's kind of what they're seeking out. I find that very interesting because I was just thinking about it pretty recently, and I was like, I don't think, like, when it comes to gay men, I don't think gay men are like say if it's like a more kind of like a bear, kind of like a, kind of like macho type guy. I've never heard them say like, oh yeah, I don't like, as a whole, like I've never heard as a whole the idea that like they don't like more femme presenting males. Some do, some don't. And same with like more femme presenting males. I've never heard them as like a whole be like, I don't like other kind of more effeminate men, or I don't really like kind of macho, like masculine guys. Like, I don't really hear them as a whole complaining. Like, people tend to be kind of like they have maybe a preference to one or the other, or maybe don't mind any type of feminine or masculine. Like, maybe they don't really care sometimes they do, but I think the only place I've really heard this is like masc lesbians, and I don't know if it's only, at first I was thinking about it and I was like, maybe it's only like queer people of color, and then I thought of it and I was like, no, I follow a lot of like white, like Caucasian content creators too, and a lot of them who are masc, I've heard them kind of say the same thing. Now the reason why it kind of intrigues me is because I wouldn't say that I'm like masc like that. Like, I don't know what I would consider myself, in all honesty. Like, I've definitely got an androgyny flavor going on, and some kind of masc qualities to some extent, but definitely femme qualities too. Like, and yeah, I feel like it's like, maybe I feel like rare. Like, I find like masc women to be pretty attractive. Like, I don't have any issue with it. There is maybe like an energy that's maybe like super masc, that's kind of like a little seems even more like don't know if the word's domineering, but maybe like domineering than like a lot of even straight guys I've known. Or, you know, like I've dated guys before, and you know, they tend to be like the guys I've dated tend to be like sensitive guys. Like they're not, you know, the most macho. They tend to be good at sports, athletic, kind of really emotionally intelligent, and intelligent in other ways too. And, you know, it's kind of what I prefer if I have to go that route. Like I've dated trans guys, but yeah, I mean, I haven't even heard trans guys be like that with each other. It's just, there's something about, I don't know what it is, you know, that some women who are more Masc don't like other Masc women. Like, they don't crush on them. They don't find them, like, someone they want to, like, try to date. A lot of them feel like it's weird. And I wonder, I could be wrong in thinking this way, but I'm curious to know, is this kind of like almost the same thing how when people think about bisexuality, I know we're not talking about bisexuality necessarily, but I think a lot of people have commonly heard, you know, whenever somebody's like, oh, would you date a bisexual? And then a lot of times people, at least in the past, used to say, I wouldn't date a bisexual. What if they left me, you know, and they left me for someone of the opposite gender? You know, I don't know why that is like such an insecurity with so many people, but I've heard so many people say that. And it's like, dude, if they leave you for anybody, you know, if they're cheating on you with anybody, I'm not saying that bisexual people are more likely to cheat or anything like that, but I think there's that fear of cheating, that fear of, you know, I don't know if people feel like embarrassed if somebody starts dating a different gender after they date them. I don't really know. I don't really understand the insecurity in it. Because if the person's bi, they're gonna potentially have interest in different genders. So I never understood the hang up, but I feel like maybe when people say, you know, maybe when people are Masc women and they're getting maybe interviewed about these questions, they kind of have that automatic answer. Maybe, you know, like that, maybe it's like an insecurity or an automatic kind of answer, but it's not really something that people really think through, where they're like, let me form my own opinions about this, but they're just like, this is what I know to say because I'm in this category. I'm not sure if that's what it is, because it seems like genuinely people just don't go that way, which is weird to me because it's like gay guys don't seem to have that kind of hang up. All other, like, trans people don't tend to have that hang up, and femme women don't tend to have that hang up. It's only really Masc women that I've heard having that kind of hang up of like not wanting to date kind of like Masc for Masc. I don't know why. Like, I wouldn't understand how there would be more of a competitive spirit between Masc females than there would be between gay cis males. You know, like, why would there be any insecurity with the females versus the males? You know, and to me, it's like, well, you're already gay. Like, it's not like gayer. Like, I've even heard people say, like, oh, like, it's too gay. And it's like, why is that too gay? Like, you're already gay. Like, you can't really get much gayer. Like, I don't understand that. But, I mean, I just never understood it. Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. I don't think I don't know if people really think that way. But I also don't see a lot of couples that are like masc presenting couples. Like two of them. Like I'll see friends and stuff, but not really a lot of couples. Like I've maybe known a couple couples, maybe one. I don't really know though. Like it's really it's not the most clear to me, like why it's like that. It's I don't know. I'm curious about it though. Like I've got a little curiosity about why I hear this so often, and why I haven't come across that many masc females that are like, oh yeah, I like other masc females. Like that's my type, you know? I haven't heard that many masc females say like that's their type. I don't really know. Like I can't put a finger on it. Maybe I'm missing something. Like I really just don't know. Like I don't know if there's really even a way of like finding out. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. It's just, you know, it's kind of a curious topic. I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows, and they could inform me because I'm just kind of like I don't understand this. At first I thought, oh, maybe it's the content I'm watching, but almost every time I go into that kind of content, I see, you know, that, you know, there is this kind of like these females that don't want to like be with each other like that. I don't really know. Like I don't really understand. I find masculine women to be pretty attractive, so I don't really understand why other people don't, or why they don't want to be with them. Like I really just don't understand that, because it's the only group of people that I can think of that just won't link up in relationships. Like maybe I know it is like a taboo in the queer culture. It is a bit of a taboo in the lesbian kind of realm, or whatever type of realm, for to see that. Like it's not like very common when you're like walking around. You don't really see a lot of like masc females like dating each other and stuff. But like walking around holding hands or kissing or anything like that. Like even in gay clubs, I don't really see it much. But I don't really know. Like I've never really understood it. I was pretty surprised. I think the very first time I heard it, I didn't really know it was like a thing. And I didn't know it was so prevalent of a thing too. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of societal kind of reason why women aren't comfortable with it, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to find out, honestly. Like I don't know. Like how do you find an answer to something like that? But I don't know, it's a little fascinating though, because it's like, you know, when I started thinking about it, I was like, other groups don't think like that, you know? Like I've never heard any other combination of, you know, masc or femme type of person, partners kind of saying that, or like potential partners kind of saying that they're not interested. And so I don't really know, but I don't know, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I find it kind of interesting. And it's definitely something that people think about. And why, I don't know. So I'm super tired. I should probably go to bed. It's almost 11:30. I got this concert to go to. It's going to be most of the day tomorrow, pretty much all day for the most part. So I don't want to be like too drained. I want to be social tomorrow, at least a little while. I don't want to be just like zapped and just like spacing out all day long. But if that's how it has to be, then so be it. But I'm not going to try to be like tired, at least. But yeah, with that, I'm going to start going to bed soon. And thanks for listening.